I know everyone has been waiting on an update for the air skirts, so here it is. This is what they look like after being set up for 2 weeks. We have not reinflated them at all, and as you can tell, they are still stuck in place. We did notice that at night when it was super cold, they did shrink a little bit, but it didn't affect anything. They never blew away, and by the next day, they were back to the full size. This was our first time taking them down, so I was trying to see if it would be a good idea to open the valves and let them start deflating as I went around and fully deflated the rest of them. And I do think that was a good idea because as I undid the last valve, the first ones that I undid were already pretty much deflated. And it's pretty self-explanatory from here. I just hooked up the pump on the suction feature and deflated all of the air. And because I opened the valves first and started letting the air out, it took less than a minute for them to be fully deflated. These truly are such a convenient way to insulate your RV, especially if you're traveling often and don't want to have a permanent setup. There is a huge benefit with air skirts because you don't have to drill any holes in your RV. And for the skeptics, trust me, I totally understand. I was skeptical myself, but they really do work. There is a noticeable difference inside versus outside. You cannot tell me for 1 second that these don't work. When we got to our new site in New York, we didn't set them up right away because we got there really late and it was already dark out and the floors were freezing when we woke up in the morning. I'm telling you, there is a huge difference using the air skirts. Another thing that I really like is they give you these huge storage bags, and usually when you use something like a tent, for example, it's super hard to put it back in the original bag. It almost never fits. But there is plenty of room in these storage bags, and actually we sorted them by size to make it easier for when we set it up next time. For those that were curious about weight and size, here you can kind of see the size. In total, these 3 bags weighed about 40 pounds each. And if you want to see a thoroughly detailed video of us setting them up, I have a 25-minute video on my YouTube channel. You can look us up, The Everywhere Family. So after setting them up, using them for 2 weeks, and taking them down for travel, I do still highly recommend using air skirts. They are definitely a must-have if you're wintering somewhere cold. All right, so here we are. Everything is packed away. We are ready to hit the road, and this is where we saw the truck touching the 5th wheel, and this definitely made us a little bit nervous. But as soon as we pulled down the slope, everything was fine, and we were ready to hit the road on our way to New York. Pretty much as soon as we left, it started raining, so we were really nervous that we were going to drive in rain for like 5 hours. But thankfully, it started clearing up and the views were insane. We were driving through mountains pretty much the whole entire trip. We had a 5-hour drive, but was stopping for food and gas and weather delays. It took us about 7 hours. Luckily, it cleared up about halfway through the drive, but we still arrived late. In addition to it being late, the site was super tight, so look at where the electrical box was compared to our slides. It was so close. I'm just wondering if we're ever going to learn our lesson and leave early instead of arriving late every single time.